Okay. Let me get rid of this. Get this up and pull up. Well, I guess I'll go here and here. And pull up the course. I don't ever go to Blackboard, so I don't know how to use it half the time. I think it's this one. Got my first email last night. I can't find the homework or the assignment. I can't find my syllabus on Blackboard. Got it last night. Okay. I told you I would. Anybody have any trouble with their email? I helped this gentleman. Well, I didn't help him. I directed him to a different way. But he got his, what, it took 5 minutes? Yeah. I don't even think it took 5 minutes. So it's not, you're not reinventing the wheel, okay? You're not. I'll tell you that right now. But it's something essential, and I think you're going to see more and more students doing that. Because it's the only way you can keep up with your instructors as far as information. Okay? Anybody got any questions about anything? I'm going to talk mainly today about Mylabsplus, how I use it, because that's very important for y'all. Because if you don't know how your teacher uses it, what good is it? And there's several reasons I use Mylabsplus. There's 3 or 4 reasons. The first reason is it gives students resources when they're at home doing homework. Because as a math student, the worst thing to be or have happen to you is get stuck on homework questions. Because you have no way of figuring out how to do a problem. So that's the number 1 reason, to give you more than one way to get over the hump with your homework. That is the primary reason I started using. And I'm talking diskettes. Back in 1997, 1998, we were using diskettes and putting them in and you had to buy diskettes up at the bookstore. That's a long time ago. And everybody thought I was crazy. That's back when we had chalkboards. We still had chalkboards. And I had to fuss to get a computer, and then I'd have the class come and stand behind the monitor and look at it. That's how old it goes back. But anyway, the second reason is instant feedback. There's nothing more frustrating to a student than doing an assignment and having to wait 6 months to get the grade back. That is so frustrating. And you have to deal with that a lot in some of your social sciences and humanities. But you still have to deal with it with the T-Rex math teachers. Because they, 1 page at a time, then they do this 1 page, and then they start with the second page, and they grade the second page. It takes 2 or 3 days for them to get so instant feedback, that helps with students a lot. Those 2 things for the student. The third thing is partially for the student, partially for me. The third thing is the third reason I do it is because it frees up all my class time. It gives me 100% class, 80% class time to teach, 10% chase rabbits, all right? But instead of, and if you think about it, how much does a test take up? Well, I got to give you the test. You take the test, and then I have to take it up, and then I have to grade it, and then I have to what? Give it back to you. And if I'm a teacher worth my salt, I'm going to go over the test with you. So that's 2 days per test. You have 8 tests. You have 4 tests, so that's 8 days. So how many days could I be teaching? That's 8 more days. We were discussing this. Well, let me finish what I'm talking. Checking homework. How many of you have ever been in a class where the teacher goes around and looks to see if you wrote down the answers in the back of the book correctly? Okay? I'm sorry. Do your homework, all right? 15 minutes maybe to do that. 15 minutes times 14 times 2 is 30 minutes. 30 minutes times 14 weeks comes out to about 2 to 3 hours, which is 2 classes. So you got 8 classes for test and 2 classes for checking homework. That's 10 to 11 classes that I could be what? Teaching. Okay? So that's the third reason. And the fourth reason is what I talked about the other day. Mylabsplus is not biased. Okay? If you suck as a student, it's going to tell you. If you are a good student and you work hard, it's going to tell you. And it doesn't care whether you're male, female, black, white, orange, red, snowflake, non-snowflake. It don't care. It's going to give you a 52 if you deserve that 52. And none of my students argue with their grade on Mylabsplus because there's no way it can, now it can be wrong, but there's no way it can be prejudiced or biased. So those are the reasons I use it. I don't use it, and this is the redneck attitude, RAD, redneck attitude disorder. He just does it so he don't have to do anything. Well, I'm not even going to respond to that, okay? Because actually I have to teach more because I have 12 more days or 10 to 11 days, depending on the class, to teach, all right? So, and part of that, I don't know who's had me before. I know you had me. You look familiar. I've had you. Huh?
I had you for 20.
Here? I thought you looked familiar. Okay? I don't forget a face. I forget names. And I think that's it. Now, you've heard of me. Right there. You've heard of me. Anybody else had me before? I don't think. And you heard of me. But the reason I say that is I think these two students will tell you that I'm pretty fair and I'm pretty, with Mylabsplus, I teach. And I spend 30 minutes, if I get, and we're going to talk about this today, if I get homework questions, it's sent directly through Ask My Instructor. It sends it directly to my email, and we spend time in class going over homework questions. So therefore, I don't have to have office hours. And downstairs, we were talking, and one of the people downstairs is non-faculty. They said some of these teachers around here just work themselves to death. And they do. Now, I'm not talking about English, and English teachers have to work because they have to read every single one of your papers. There is no way in Hades I could be an English professor. I can't read the funny paper and not fall asleep, okay? So there's no way I could. Psychology teachers, they have to read. So I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking about teachers that have stuck in the grade and then that's it. They do double the work, and they don't have to. And I was born and raised on a farm. I'm not going to do extra work. I'm not going to do double the work. Because I grew up, if you're going to town to get a flat tire fixed, you go to town to get a flat tire fixed, you go do everything else you need in town, then you come back home. And one of the things about my best friend, I only have one. But anyway, you go through a divorce, you know what I'm talking about. He didn't grow up like that. He's a builder, okay? He's like a 15th, 100th generation builder. And if you know somebody that's a builder, you know what I'm talking about. They don't just go into building. They've got to be born into it, okay? And, oh my God, he built my house. Me and him built it. And, oh my God, he would show up to my house at 9 o'clock. He wouldn't get started till 2. Oh, I'm going to go get some breakfast. He'd show up at my house, then go get breakfast. You want to ride with me? No. Anyway, then he'd have to go to Lowe's and pick up some stuff. Then he'd get back about 10:30. Then he'd get all his stuff set up. And he's one of these people that when 12 o'clock hits, he's got to go eat. If he don't eat at 12 o'clock, he's going to explode. He's one of those people, if you ever know one of those. So by the time he gets all his stuff set up, it's 12 o'clock. He got to go eat. So he don't get started to work till 1 o'clock. Drove me bananas. Now, why am I telling you this? I have no earthly idea. I chase rabbits. So if I don't encourage me to chase rabbits, because then I'll pick up on it and then I'll get mad at you. All right? I don't need any encouragement to chase rabbits. But the whole point is, I don't know what I was. Oh, I don't do double the work. I don't. What that boy does, and he does it to this day. It's just the way he is. He could make twice as much money and do twice as much work if he would just coordinate his, what do you call it? Coordinate his schedule a little bit better, okay? And just do one trip to go to town. Pick up a dadgum Big Mac combo and put it in the truck and eat it for lunch instead of going all over the place. But he's my friend, so I can't fuss at him too much. But he would do stuff just to irritate me. He would say, "Oh, I think I'm going to go take a coffee break." And he would just do that, just to drive me crazy. But anyway, I don't do double work. I don't like to do paperwork. And I pick my own battles, okay? Some of these cats, they'll fuss at you and condemn you and try to drop you for nothing. And then fuss when you bite back or fight back. It's ridiculous, huh? Yeah, I mean, they're just crazy. Don't do double the work. Okay? So I'm through chasing that rabbit. All right. Now, that's why I use this. Now, how many of you actually, well, let's look and see, because I like to make fun of the slackers in the class. So let's see how many slackers we got in the class. Because we got 12 in the class. Let's see, where is my, okay, we'll just go here. Oh, got my text yesterday. I told you I'd get this text too. Let me see if I can find it. Well, that's, okay, there it is. Where is it? Well, anyway, I got a text yesterday and it says, okay, here it is. I think this is it. Anyway, Mr. Hubert cannot get on to Mylabsplus because I don't have a course ID. Told you. What did I tell you told me that you're not reading the handouts? Go into mylabsplus.com. That's the generic. I told you. And every one of my classes, there's going to be somebody that does one of those two things. Either they're going to email me about the course ID, or they're going to email me about, what was I telling you about? Somebody texted me yesterday or emailed me about something that I mentioned. I told you I was going to get one. But anyway, I thought that was funny. I always get them. People don't listen and people don't read. So anyway, let's see how many slackers we got out of 12 in here. I do this for all my classes. I don't pick on y'all. Let's see. Oh, we got 9 losers in here. There's 3 enrolled.
It's not on the website.
What do you mean it's not on the website? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let me see it when you pull it up. Anyway, so Mr. Bays, Miss Gregory, and Miss Hayes, y'all are winners. Okay? The rest of y'all suck. All right? Get it done hopefully by Monday, okay? I'm just kidding. Y'all need to get a sense of humor. That's one thing we need today is a freaking sense of humor.
Let's go on right now, Professor, and look up.
No, let's do not. I do not like to go to that website. I like to go make fun of people. We can do that. Let's go one time.
You said you don't like to read your own.
I will not read my own. I'm scared to death to read them. All right. I'll get y'all, we'll pull up several because I ain't going to spend a lot of time just on Mylabsplus today, so we can waste a little bit of time. I'm glad you mentioned that. I need to do that for all my classes so people can run, drop. All right, somebody give me a teacher.
Yeah. What was his name? His last name is Morgan.
Morgan, what does he teach?
Art.
Hmm.
I had him last year.
4.7.
What was his first name?
Ricky.
Ricky, that's right.
He's right here. Just past him.
Huh?
He's right there.
Where?
Ricky.
At the very top of the list.
At the very what?
Look at the very top on that.
Oh, I thought it was in alphabetical order. It looks like it is. No, it's not. Okay. What the? What happened? Damn Russians. Six. Now see, you got to look at 2 or 3 things. One, you got to look at how many ratings they got. If they got 1 rating and it's a 2 or a 5, you can take it with a grain of salt because you need to get kind of a feel. So 6 is not too good, but he could have just started. Okay, so looks like to me he's doing pretty good. Great professor. Grades very easily. Made back. Well, you're talking about an art teacher. Okay? I mean, they might as well pull a sofa in their classroom. Okay? I mean, that's as laid back as you can get. If you make a bad grade in an art history class, don't tell anybody. Okay? All right, give me one more. Let's do a couple. Who?
Oh,
Tom.
Dalton.
What'd you say?
Beverly Thompson.
Okay, I don't think she's too bad from what I've heard. Let's see if I find it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I need to do. I need to go back to, I don't know how to work this, so you'll just, okay, here we go.
You
Thompson.
have 300 ratings.
I don't look at a single one. I'm scared to death to look at them. Thompson. She's 3.5. Anything 2 or below, run. Drop, slip, get the hell out. Now, that's my advice. You can take my advice or you not. But was I right?
Can you pick who you have as a teacher?
You can if you fit. That's called building the schedule. A lot of these things. Oh, do the course schedule. Or do the course schedule. Hell to the no. You go into the search and you wait until they put the names on it, and then you make your schedule.
Mine are older.
Yeah, she's got a 3.5. How many ratings has she got? Does it say? Well,
13.
13. So it's a little better. But see, a lot of teachers don't tell their students about this. Excellent instructor, the entire class, and then some. Okay, there's a sad face. Credible instructor, good. I really, that right there, sad face, really surprises me. Oh my, very rude. No, she's never rude. I don't think I've ever seen her be rude to somebody. I think so. Yeah. I wouldn't know about her class as far as her being helpful, but she's always helpful to students that come to her office because I'm right across the way from her and I hear her helping students all the time, and she's not like, get out of here. She's not like that. So I would say that 3.5 is probably a little bit off. It probably needs to be a little bit higher because of those bad ones. So that's a good one. I'd stick with that one. All right. Somebody name another one.
So you have said 8 on there.
I'm sorry, what?
Said 8.
Oh, my Lord. I know what that one says.
What's the first issue of the teacher's name? I can't remember.
Nobody take her class. She's on this. 2.9 exactly.
That's.
She should have lower than that.
There you go. What'd you say?
That's almost accurate.
You think so?
Should be lower.
Needs to be higher or lower?
What's the rating?
Yeah, she must have put some on here for herself.
What class?
I just go by these because that way I don't read them out loud. Anybody
If you
hears
do
it.
not agree with her opinion, you fail. That's true.
Okay, drop slip.
What was her rating?
Oh, I didn't look.
Like 2.9.
2.9, but we got 2 in here that says that's too high.
Where does she teach?
Sociology.
Yeah, it usually tells in here. Yeah, see? It tells you. Okay, one more.
Tyndall.
Oh, I never heard that one before. I haven't. What do they teach?
English. Henry.
Got 5. It's 3.8. That's not bad. Henry, that's almost as bad as Hubert. 3.8 is not bad. Extremely helpful. Unhelpful. Okay, now you got two, they cancel each other out. So you got to take that into effect. But always remember, if you're reading a sentence and it's spelled K-A-T, cat, take that into effect. You know, and a word to use T-O instead of T-O-O, or what's another one? Now instead of no, then you can pretty much scratch that off, especially if it's an English rating.
There.
Yeah. Or one sentence is like 3 paragraphs long.
So you prep.
Yeah, you just kind of mark through that one as idiot, okay? Because you're in an English class. If you're in an English class and you spell cat, K-A-T, you shouldn't be writing in public. Poor, extreme. But look at the input compared to that one up there. Now, it's about like the student putting on an evaluation. You suck. Okay, that's really good input. I don't know this teacher from Adam's House Cat, but there's one frowny face. The rest of them look. Is that all he had? So I think you'll be all right in his class. I was hoping y'all pull up a real bad one. Let's see that. Debbie, we called her Crazy Debbie. There's one teacher that's got like a 1.9 rating.
Rainey's on there.
Who?
James Rainey.
Who does he teach?
He's a lab. We'll lecture to by him. He's terrible. See 2.1. He's so bad.
How many ratings do you have?
14.
He's terrible.
Oh yeah, make you feel stupid. Now again, you've got a paragraph. Look and see how well it's put together. And I don't know grammar that well, but it looks like to me they can at least spell. No multiple choice. He will point in between thalamus and the hypothalamus, whatever.
That's true.
Self-taught, rude, and unprofessional towards students. Who is this cat? I've never seen him before.
Old man, he can't hear.
There's a good one. He must have wrote it himself.
We went to the dean so much this past semester that he got taken off labs, but he's doing lectures still.
I've heard of it. I think you were talking.
There's always one. So there's a couple of people that says he's great.
Yeah, maybe this is in 2012, maybe when he was younger.
That's interesting. You see, also look at the course. You know, he could be getting good ratings from a easier course or something, or from a harder course. So
210,
yeah. So that one is 2.1. So I would be weary about that one. So that's how you look at the comments, you look at how many ratings, you look at the rating, overall rating, and you use that. And when you finish the semester, you go back to it and you fill in for the future students, you fill in for your teachers. Because this helps you, but you need to pay it forward. You need to do it for the next students coming up. Okay? And pass it around to your friends, because teachers will not. They will not share this. Okay? All right. So if you want to get a kick out of it, and today I think is the last day to what? Drop ad? So you need to make those decisions. All right. So when you get to this is called the dashboard. The dashboard has a calendar on it. Now, remember, when you buy your book, it comes with an access code. It comes in a little cardboard thing. Do not scratch off the numbers, okay? Do it real gently. Or it has a pull tab that you pull it off. Once you use it, you can throw it away. I wouldn't throw it away, though, just in case. They need that UPC on the back in case something goes wrong. So keep it in your notebook, all right? And that way, after the semester's over, you can throw it away. It'll also ask for a trial period. Now, you need to be careful with the trial period. I'm not going to start math probably until Wednesday of next week, okay? Because y'all don't come Monday. So that's 3 or 4 days that you could have if you're waiting on a check or financial aid or scholarship money to come be deposited. Wait, okay? Don't get on it now. I know I was kidding a while ago about people being losers. I was just kidding. All right. If you don't have the money for it right now, wait until I start teaching math to access this. Okay. And, that may give you a few more days, 3 or 4 more days before your check hits or whatever the case may be. So you can do the trial period. And then the third way is to hit the pay for access code online or get access code online. Click on that and it'll take you to your credit card, and it's not going to ask you to register. It's just going to ask you to pay. Once you pay, you're in. Okay? And if it gives you a confirmation email, make sure you print that out, put that in your notebook, or keep it. Do not erase it. All right? So therefore, you have the UPC on the access code and for proof, and you have the email for proof. Do not lose those two things, because Murphy's Law says if something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen. And you got to have something. Okay? So keep those two things. When you get your access code or you go through the 14-day trial period, you're going to come to this screen. This is called the dashboard. This is where it defaults to. Right now, there's nothing due. The thing on the 10th, I've got the Unit 1 test open today. Okay, hammies don't have a fit. Okay, nobody's supposed to be doing a test today. Some of y'all are already starting to fizzle up. All right, I did that. I opened it so you can see what the test looks like today when I go over it. Okay, I do that for every class. But if I close the homework, it's going to show it on there as a clock or a piece of notebook paper. When something is usually enabled, it's a piece of notebook paper or something. I can't remember which one's which, but I think when something is due, it is the clock. Yeah. Okay? So it's due today at 11 o'clock because y'all are not supposed to take it. It's just for show. I have to say that like 5 times because somebody will say, did I say that we have a test today? I'll get an email about 5 o'clock today. All right. So that's that. So make sure you read that calendar. Now, you don't have to worry too much about the due dates, and my students will tell you, former students, because I go over. When we get to 5 points or 6 point, I don't know what the last section is. Somebody tell me, what's the last section we go over in Unit 1? 6 what? C? Outline. You're supposed to have the outline in front of your notebook.
I didn't get an email.
You sucked. You didn't, you got to email me. It just added it. What?
It's not there.
60.
I don't have anything from it.
Okay, you just added yesterday. It takes 24 hours for it to go into it.
I don't remember this yesterday. I added myself on Sunday.
Okay, when you get through, call the help desk, 646-1779, or I'll call it. You can stay in here and I'll call it and figure it out. What do we go through in Chapter 6? Okay, when I get to 6C in the classroom and I do my thing, I teach it, blah, blah, blah. If I got enough time in the class, I'm going to say, y'all know what? It's time for a what? What comes after the end of the unit? Test. Okay? And then I'll pull up the test. And if we got enough time, we'll go over the test. After we go over the test, I'll put the dates on it. End on certain day, open on certain day, close on certain day. And if the test starts on the 5th, chances are the homework's going to stop on the 5th, and I'll set that. I'll do all that in class. So that way I don't have any hammies, bouncing off the walls in here, okay? When's it going to start? When's it going to start? Those people need a pill or something, okay? All right, any questions there? And my students will tell you, these two right here especially, because they've been in the class, that's what I do. So you don't need to bust a gut worrying about this and that, do you? Okay, you don't. You worry about that outline. When I get to 6C, that's when you need to start worrying. Now let me also specify, do not procrastinate on the homework, because the homework is gauging this class. The squeaky door gets what? Grease. All right? If you don't send me homework questions, what's my assumption? Say it again. You need to pronounce and enunciate in volume, okay? All right. I'm going to assume that you know it, and I'm going to go on to the next section. But if you do what you're supposed to do, and 90% of you do your homework for 5.1 or 5 point, I hate this book, 5A, all right, and 90% of you go home tonight and work on it and have it done by Wednesday and send in your questions, then I'm not going to 5B until I go over those homework questions. You see what I'm saying? So the next time we meet, I'm expecting homework questions. Capiche? All right, and that's what gauges the class. That's how fast I go or how slow I go. All right, so that's the dashboard. Now there's 3 or 4 buttons on the side that you need to worry about. This is where I love the students that send me an email that says they can't find the homework assignments. Okay, where do you think the homework assignments are?
Homework to do.
Under, is it got a homework button? I don't see it. Yeah, okay. Some of these in different classes, they have assignments. They don't have homework. Okay? So that button houses the homework. It's amazing, isn't it? And there you go. You click on the homework. We're going to click on, I don't do chapter 1. I don't like that one. All right, 5A. Now you click on it, and there's your homework for 5A. Now, when you click on one, okay, let's don't do 5 because they don't have all the stuff on it, because it's just reading. You don't have help on reading because if you can't read, you don't need to be in the class. All right? So let me go to chapter 6, where the actual math starts. Sorry, 6. Nope. And plus, this book sucks, so it don't have a lot of what the other books have. 6B. Oh no, don't tell me somebody's turned off the... Hold on a second. Some of these teachers at the school, they need a girlfriend or a boyfriend or both. They go in here and they turn off the homework aids. Okay? What's the whole point of having this? It's for you to have the aids at home. They turn them off when they set up these classes. Each teacher, math teacher, is given 2 or 3 classes to be the head of. I'm in charge of Math 110, 111, and Calculus. All right? So I do the things for Math 110 and 111 and Calculus. All right? Whoever does 103, they turn the main one, they turn the homework aids off, evidently, because I don't see them. I'm going to go check it right now. I don't understand that. You know, in life, there's always one. There's always one. When I was growing up, there was a show called MASH, and Frank Burns was the one that's always won, the one that always goes by the rules, the ones that makes it miserable for everybody else, and the one that you want to take a board and beat upside the head with. There's always one, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's in your community or whether it's in work. There's always one, and they will screw everything up. So let me look at 6. Let me look at chapter 6 and see if they turned off the... Oh, shut up. I'm looking. Hold on. Learning aids. Okay, which one? What is this? What section? 6B. All right, I think I turned them on. Let me check and make sure. I lost it. Where'd it go? Okay, help me solve this. Yeah, they turned it off. Well, I say it was 6 what, B? Okay, let me go back to, did it save? I hope it saved. Okay, sorry. I didn't know I'm going to have to go in and change every one of them. More freaking work. 6B. No, it didn't. I don't think it did it. Yeah, it did. There it is. All right, but that ain't what I want. Just give me a second. See, I don't have to do this in my other classes because the books don't suck in my other classes. Let's go here. Oh, that's better. Okay. When you go into the homework, first of all, when I set up the classes, I let students take it over and over and over until they get it right. Chances are this teacher didn't. All right? If they turned off the helping aids, then they probably fixed it to where you could only do the problem 3 times and then you get it wrong if you don't get it right. Okay? So, I'm probably going to have to go in and fix all this. You can do it till you get it right. So, everybody should turn in a what on homework? Will they? 52s, 23s. Okay? I'll get them. Over there on the right is the question help. That's the button you hit for problems. If you need extra help, usually they have a video, but this book, I'll be honest with you, this book is not very good. So it don't have a lot of stuff. Help Me Solve This is like a guided tutorial. So think of in the tutoring center or a tutor that you've had in the past, a tutor that asked you more questions than you asked them. Okay? Like you got a problem, 2x plus 3 is equal to 6. And they say, okay, what do we do first? That's the first question. Well, we got to get rid of the 3. What do we do with the positive 3? They ask you questions as you do a problem. That's called a guided instruction. All right? It's a learning style. Learning style, keyword. All right? A guided instructor or a guided instruction is where they ask you to answer your own questions, pretty much. And through this problem, you will see that it'll ask you what? It'll ask you questions. And then you go through and do it. Now, half the people are going to say, bump that. I don't want, just show me how to do it. Okay? But some people who would like to do this, somebody that has never seen this material before. I'm going to make up a student. John Smith that graduated high school in 1906, because that's what all non-traditional students, that's when they took high school in the early 1900s. If you listen to them, they've never had a math class in 150 years, okay? When it's only been like 2 years or been like 6 years, all right? And the ones that been out for 10 or 20 years, oh my God, it's been 1865 since they were in high school, all right? So anyway, those are the ones. Your non-traditional students or the students that have never had probability and statistics, they will use the guided tutorial because they need to kind of soak up as much as they can to understand the material they've never seen before. Unlike algebra, which most of y'all have had, whether it's been in high school or what. Mostly everybody should, that's the way it should be. Everybody should have algebra because it's problem solving. Anyway, I'll shut up. That's that, guided, and at the end of this, it'll change the problem. It'll change the numbers. So I thought I'd tell you that. That's why I'll get out of that. That is a guided tutorial. Well, let's say you have seen the material before, but you've forgotten it. All right, then you don't want the guided tutorial. You're going to get mad, all right, because you don't want to answer all them questions. Then you hit view an example. And that is the tutor that you go in and they just show you how to do the problem and you just look at it. All right? Okay, 2x plus 3 is equal to 4. Minus 3 on both sides, that's 2x is equal to 1. 2x equal to 1 equals divide by 2 on both sides, you get x equal to 1/2. And you just sit there and go, okay? That's a regular tutor. That's a non-guided tutorial. And that's what that is. See, watch. It doesn't ask you anything. You just hit what? Continue. Okay, different learning style. Third learning style, textbook. It's for the readers in the classroom. I can't read the newspaper without falling asleep. All right? But some of y'all can read War and Peace in 2 days. All right? I envy you and also respect you because I can't do it. I've tried. I have tried. Okay? Thank God for audible.com because now I can read a book and not read. I can listen to it going down the road. Okay? And it's great when you go on, like when I go to workshops in Atlanta or Charlotte, because I won't go anywhere else. Okay? I put in that redneck Cadillac hits 85, I put a book in. Okay? And that's how I get my reading in, because I don't want to say I can't read, because I can read. I can't get into reading like some of y'all can. Oh, I go down there, I envy those people. There's a couple of teachers that go down in the library. I don't know if it's still called a library or not. Now it's called a politically correct name, Learning Center or something like that. But down in the library, berry like blackberry, down in the library there's a teacher, and he goes down there every day and he reads. And it's kind of like wanting to play the piano, something I've always wanted to play. I'd sucked at when I was a kid. But you just want to. I would love to be able to read like that. But I'm not made up that way. I try. By the second page, I fall asleep. How many of y'all like that? Anybody? Okay, several of y'all. So you don't need the text. You don't need that because you're just gonna skip that. But it will take you. Did I not hit it? It'll take you to the book. Well, it's not working. I'm looking for it. It should take you to the book and the page. Let me see if I've covered it up. Nope. It'll take you to the book and the page that has I don't know why it's not working. And we're going to have to fix that because it's not, I don't understand. We'll have to come back to that. It'll take you to the book and the page, and you can read it. Print. This is very important. All right. Now you need to listen here, especially if you're a non-traditional type student that likes to do paper and pencil at home. Okay. This is where you click on the number 1 on each homework, and you go to print and hit question help. Go to print and click on this. Print homework assignment. Now this is a double-edged sword. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't print out the homework and expect to work it and put in questions if you go in and play with the homework after you print it out. Because what do the questions do if you miss or redo the questions? What do? They regenerate. They change. They change the 6 into a 2 and the 3 into a 5. They change. So if you do anything after you print that homework lesson out, it's going to change those questions, and then you might as well just throw the homework away because you got to print out another one. So what I tell students to do is either be hot or cold. If you're going to print out the homework assignments, then you go to number 1, and you actually probably can do it from the assignments menu and go over to the assignment and go to the pull down. I'll show you that. I don't know if y'all have that or not because I don't know what y'all see. But that's where you print it out right there. You print it out, you go home, you bring it to class, you do the problems as I do them in class, you do it however you want to do it, and then when you get through, when you complete all the problems, you go in and type in the answers. Okay? But do not print it out, work on those, then go in and work on those because that'll screw everything up. All right? If you want to do problems besides your homework, you go to the study plan and do that. Study plan doesn't count for grade. It's nothing but practice. I'll show you that in just a minute. So that's how you print out. Why do people print out the question only? Well, before we had Ask My Instructor, and there are some teachers that turn off that feature. What you would do is print out the question and give it to the teacher before class. Or give it to them after class and say, would you go over these next time we meet? The old-fashioned way of, will you do this problem? That's why you print this question only. Or for office hours. Can you do this problem? Go to my office. Can you do this problem? Come in here because I'm in here all the time. Will you do this problem? That's the old type way of doing it. Now, the new type way is doing Ask My Instructor. Okay? And you only have to hit 2 buttons. You don't even have to put anything in the writing, but I'm going to show us real time. Okay? So I'm going to put in here, if you taught me, I could do this. You suck. All right? Now, the reason I do that, the reason I make up a funny little sentence is to show you that it's real time. Because now I'm going to send this, and you can count seconds if you want to. I'm going to go over to my email, which I'm logged out because this campus is so T-Rex. Nobody uses email in class, so I'm the only one just about it. Oh, shoot, cap locks. Damn Russians. Go to my email, and I should go over to, what class is this? 103. And it should be at the very top, but this thing may be messed up. Hold on. 12, 17. Let me see if it's down. It may have, wait a minute, I think it just sent it. No? Okay, it should, but it's not. Let me look back in my original email. I've got my email fixed to where it should go into my 103 folder, but evidently either there's a lag time. You don't see it, do you? Huh. Well, that's never happened before. Usually it comes right to my email. What chapter was that? 6? Here it is. I've got to clean it out. That's from last semester. Here it is right here. And when I come to class the next day, this folder should have some homework in it when I start. Okay, not now, but maybe next week when y'all start doing the homework for 5 and 6, you'll start sending questions. And it'll send it in here, and then I'll click on it. I done lost it. Where is it?
Right there.
Right here. Click on it, and there it is. If you taught me I could do this, you suck. That's the problem. That's what I just sent. So you see how it works? So my office hours technically are in this classroom. If you, as a class, decide to what? Use it. If you don't use it, then I don't know how you're going to get help unless you just come to my office after class. Okay? And that's fine if you bring cash. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay? All right. Question on that. And that's how you do office hours and not come to my office. You basically send me the questions you have. Now, the biggest problem I have is the student that says, well, this is a stupid question. I don't sit there and go, okay, Miss Smith, golly, I can't believe you sending in a question, especially that question. That's a stupid question. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to encourage you to send in questions. All right? Now, what if 3 students send in the same question? Then me, as a teacher, flag goes up. Okay? What if 10 of y'all send in the same question? Then I didn't do my job. Or there's a question in there that I don't know about. Okay? And it's going to be reflected in the next time we meet when I see that question 10 times. Number 27, number 27, number 27. Flag goes up. We're going to address that in first class. Everything depends on this homework file. Okay, it'll be cleaned out after today's class. I'm going to clean it all out. Okay, if you don't send me homework questions, then I keep going. That's why I told you, do not put the homework off. There's another reason you don't put the homework off. It's because my test cuts on when the homework cuts what? Off. So if you have questions on homework and you wait till the last minute and then the homework ends, I'm not going to spend any time more after that. After I'm done with 6C, I'm done. I'll give you 1 day to send in questions after I go over it. And that's usually the day that we go over the test. And you have half the class to go over the test, half the class for homework questions on 6C. And then after that, I'm going on to Unit 2. Next time we meet, I'm going into Unit 2. And then Bubba, he's going to be on the back row, and he's going to say, I sent in 3 questions. Sorry, send me in office hours. Because I'm going on to the next class. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't put off the homework and expect me to honor your questions like I honored the questions of the person that was supposed, the way it was supposed to be done. Okay? So, if you send them late, that's office hours or in here after class. Okay? All right. So that's how that works. Let me go ahead and clear this out while I'm thinking about it. Really? I got more? Must have more than I thought. There. All right, so that's that. So that's the gauge of the class. If you don't do the gauge of the class, then I hate these. I bet it took me out. Did it? Nope. Nope. Yep. No, there it is. Okay, so that's the homework. So what other button you think is important? Oh my gosh, you are smart. I just don't know what to do with students like that. They just put common sense with knowledge. It just blows my mind. Yeah, exactly. All right, there's quizzes and tests. I do not give quizzes, but you know those pesky in-class tests that I have to give y'all? Those are going to be your quizzes, 5% of your grade or 10%. Don't worry about it because if you miss them or you make a bad grade, don't tell anybody because you'll embarrass yourself. Okay, they're not difficult. All right, so you don't need to worry about them, and I put them in like at the last week of the semester. I put them off because to me they're useless. Okay, but I have to do them. Okay, the test questions right there. Now look right here. Do you see these things down here? Those are generic. If you want to go in and play with them, they don't count for a grade. They don't count for anything. They're extra practice. If you want to learn the format of the test, how a test is given, take some of those. Take them all you want. Okay? They come with what they're for is for, there's a such thing called an independent study where like 3 or 4 different classes are in the classroom with computers. And that's what they're for those students. In other words, if a student wants to take a whole class and they go fast as they want to, you take those quizzes right there. And you have to enable the grades for those for the grade for the end of the semester. I have them disabled. So you can, or I hope they're disabled. It looks like they are because they're below that area up there. Those are just generic. They come with the book. They come no matter what. You have to disable them. You have to I think you have to actually delete them but we don't do that. They're extra practice if you want them. Okay, now, you may see questions on these tests that you never see on your homework and tests. That's because we've tailored the 103 course with the important homework questions that go with the lessons, with the objectives. For an example, we don't go over estimation because it's assumed that you know how to do estimation. You may see a question on one of these quizzes about estimation, but you haven't seen a homework question on it because we took it out because we don't want to insult your intelligence by going over estimation in class. Okay? So that's why. So beware, they do not grade, it's extra practice, and then you may see material on here that's not in the homework or my test. Okay? The study plan. Well, we're going to go to that next. Let me just go ahead and we'll look at the test so you can see how it works. Look here, I want to show y'all something. What does that mean? That word due? Okay. Why did I show y'all that word? Because the first thing y'all going to ask me is, when's test due? You miss class or something? You don't go to the video and watch the video of the day that I assigned the test? You're going to text me and say, when's the test due? Am I going to respond? No. So don't even send the text. All right? Don't send me a text that says, what'd you go over in the last class? I'm not going to respond because that's what the videos are for. Sorry, but I have to tell you this because people get mad because I don't respond. My department head knows why I don't respond because I already go over it. All right? It also has time limit. How long do we have on tests? That's the second thing that y'all going to ask. It's on there. What I'm trying to tell you is Mylabsplus will tell you everything you need to know. All you need to do is go to quizzes and tests or homework, and it'll tell you when it's due, how much time you got, how many attempts you got. I take the higher of the attempts. So if I give you 5 attempts, I'm going to drop 4. Okay? If I give you 3 attempts, I'm going to drop 2 of the lowest grades. If you make a 0, a 50, and a 100, I'm going to take the 100. I've already set up the class to do that. No, I haven't set up the weights yet. But when I set up the weights, which I'll do when I do the first test, when we actually do the first test, because I have to go in and put the weight on the test, I'll go through and I'll change the weights to 20% homework, 10% quizzes, and I think 70% or 50-20 unit test and final. Okay? And you'll see it. There's a bonus question. You're going to see it in just a few minutes. And there is no way you can get it wrong, even though somebody will, because the only answer that equals 100 is the answer. Right? Y'all remember that one? I don't know if you remember it or not. But I got one question on that, one multiple choice answer that says 30, 30, 30. And that's what people put. It's wrong because it doesn't equal what? Okay? So, and there's the 0. So you got 3 attempts, and you can take all 3. Please don't text me and say, Hubert, I made a 98 on the first test. Do I need to take the second and third? I'm not going to respond. Because I've told you, I dropped the lowest 2 grades. If you don't do the second and the third attempt, the computer will automatically give you a what? A 0. So you have a 98, a 0, and a 0. What's the 2 lowest grades? 0 and 0. So those will be dropped and leave you with a 98. Okay? Now, I'm not talking to y'all. This is what I have to tell all students because of that 10% that's in La La Land. Okay? Question. So after you look, you click on it. Now, this is a very important page because it asks you a question. It says, do you want me to start the test? The reason that is because some of y'all are going to want to take the test, and the dog, the cats are chasing each other around the house. The kids are running around like wild Indians. All right? There's a thunderstorm outside with a tornado and a hurricane and snow. And your husband is drunk and ranting and raving. Or your wife is drunk and ranting and raving. Is that the best time to take the test? No. Now, all that's a big joke, okay? Please don't go and tell that I said that your husband's drunk. That's what, I've had people do that. Okay? Don't take the test if you do not have peace and quiet and at least a half a bottle of Merlot, okay? Or Jack, okay? Or tea or coffee, all right? Don't be offended. All right, so that's why that puts that there, start test. That means, are you sure you're ready to take this test? That's what that says. Once you hit it, you're in the test. And you have how many? 30 questions. And I'm just going to, the math questions, we're going to answer the bonus questions to show you what I mean by bonus question. Okay? And there's some new ones on there too. All right, that is a math question. There's a bonus question. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? He gives you a drop slip. He takes the highest grade and drops the lowest. He calls you a loser and fails you, and he averages the grades. What did I just tell you? I dropped the lowest. So that is a bonus question. Actually, if you look at it, there's only one right answer. I need to change D so it wouldn't be a possible answer. I need to change it to, he says you suck or something like that. All right? That's a math question. We'll go over that. Why does Hubert not entertain extra credit, extra points, or dropping any grades the last weeks of the semester? A, because my head hurts. Because he wants me to fail and live in a ditch. I will actually take B if you put that. Okay? He awards me extra points for these bonus type questions on each unit test, and he drops lowest 2 grades on each unit because he is mean. All right? Now, a lot of you laugh and you think I'm insulting your intelligence, but what am I doing? I'm answering the DA questions that I get at the end of the semester. Do people still ask these questions? Yes. At the end of the semester, somebody will ask me, is the final online? These people procreate too. When is the week of finals? Y'all see a pattern yet? In your grade book, to find your final grade after you have completed all assignments at the end of the semester, which should you do? Which button should you choose? Should be A. Now, why do I put that on there? Because before I started putting that question on there, I'd get about 10 people out of 30 calling me at the end of the semester after the last day of finals. How do I find my final grade? Y'all think I'm lying. Ask these two. And I'll get these questions in class. You'll hear somebody ask that, and I'm talking about not in this class, but in maybe another class that I teach. You'll hear these questions being asked. I'm not supposed to put them all together like this, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. When should a student do, what should a student do if something happens and they are out of class for a while? A funeral, high school events, because I got a dual employment, what's it called? Dual enrollment class. Or a wreck. Just miss the assignment. Blame it on the Russians. Wait until after grade turn in and turn on the DAD syndrome. That's dumb attitude disorder. Or communicate with the instructor. Anybody that knows anything about standard tests, when you see a word like communicate in the answer, it's the answer. Okay? That's a lawyer term. It's a bureaucrat. Communicate. So B is the answer. There's 15 of these on each of your tests. They're the same questions. By the end of the semester, you will have 4 of each questions. You understand what I'm doing here? Okay, there's a standard deviation question. There's a definition question, which is going to be about 20% of your first unit test. 20% of your first unit test will be common mathematical definitions. Okay, like placebo. Everybody knows what a placebo is. It's a sugar pill. Now, you have to be a Philadelphia lawyer to read this. Okay, so you need to kind of do this homework question a few times because this will show up again. Placebo, mean or average, quantitative data versus qualitative. All that we're going to go over when I go over chapter 5. Like in one class, I'm going to go through and get you to highlight all the stuff that will probably be on the test. I don't spend a lot of time on vocabulary because this is not biology and it's not English. So I don't spend a lot of time on vocabulary. I tell you what's going to be covered and then we go on to the math. Math question. If you look at your overall grade one day, and this is toward the end of the semester, and it has decreased from several days ago, what has happened? Butter, a 0 has been placed for your missed assignment, or you clicked on the wrong selection. Hubert and Russia have conspired against you, and which one is it?
Butter.
B. Butter. I put that. You'll know if I say some of these is what I'm watching at the time, and this is one of these episodes when Patrick Starfish was eating butter. That's why I put it So sometimes it'll be Jason, Friday the 13th or something. Whatever I'm watching, that's when I'm doing it, that's what you're going to get. So I'm a movie fanatic. If a student does not complete homework or test, what grade will be recorded for this assignment? You would not believe how many students are surprised when the last day of finals hits and they have several homework sections that they haven't done, they missed a test, and they made bad on the final, and they wonder why they got a C. I would say probably 10 out of a third of the class will be like totally confused. If I do 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3, and I assign those homework questions, if you don't do 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3, what's going to be put in there? I don't understand how students lose that thought. The only thing I can come up with is the social promotion BS. You know, I sit in class all semester, I get a C. I've actually had students, art, check. Anybody got art? Oh my God, he blew a gasket last semester. He had a student turn in, he has like 3 or 4 papers. One's a 500-word essay, one's a 1,200-word essay, one's a 3,000-word essay. I'm making up numbers, okay? And your grade is based on those 3 essays. On the 500-word essay, the same student, wrote like 2 paragraphs. On the 800-word essay, he wrote like 400 words. And on the 1,500 essay, he wrote a page. So he flunked all 3 of them, really, because the grammar was terrible too. He came up to him after finals, because he flunked the final too. Came up to him afterwards and just wanted him to give me just give me a C. And if you know Art Scheck, you're not going to get a no or a yes from Art Scheck, okay? He makes me, on a sarcastic scale, he makes me look like Mickey Mouse, all right? He is so sarcastic, you don't even know when he's being sarcastic, all right? He blew a gasket. He did. He had to come over to my office and vent. Okay, this student had not done any of the assignments, basically 0 average, and wanted a C in the class. Now, will some of y'all tell me where that comes from? Because I wasn't raised like that. I don't know where that comes from. All right, so what do you get? 0. You get a 0. Zilch. Nada. No points. Math question. Math question. Math question. Math question. When does homework terminate? I cannot read. You suck, Mickey Mouse. Toward the end of the unit material, when Hubert sets the date in Mylabsplus during class. Normal distribution, that's kind of a terminology, vocabulary word. If you miss a question on a test and you believe it to be correct, in other words, you're challenging the test question, when would this be feasible? You put 0.48, the answer is 0.5, but the directions do not say anything about rounding. That would be a challenge question. If the directions say write as a fraction and you put 0.5, you didn't follow essay directions. Simple attitude directions. All right? That's the type of challenge I'm talking about. But these two can tell you I'm very lenient when it comes to challenge questions. If the answer is 237 and you have 6, I can't do much. Okay? But if you feel in your gut that that question is correct, then go for it. All you got now. Well, it should say after class or something, shouldn't it? Okay, there it is. Ask Hubert if you can meet with him after class. Scream and throw a temper tantrum. That's been done. Send several emails. This is the most popular. send several emails within a 20-minute period, with one of them, probably the last one, saying, hello. Okay? Remember, I don't respond if I've gone over it or if we can take care of it in the next class. So I'm not going to respond to that because I've covered it, and you should see me after class in the next class. Call Hubert's office about 5 or 6 times. This is the offensive, this is the snowflake question. When is the last day of class for the semester? When do you think it is? See. Mr. McClure, I'm offended. Why are you offended? My uncle's brother's cousin's son-in-law's wife's brother's aunt was killed in 9/11. I said, well, I'm sorry, but that's a date in history. I don't erase dates in history because of snowflakes. And besides, you didn't say anything about December 7th, 1941. What's that? No, that's what she said. What's that? I said, case in point. Pearl Harbor. They that will live in what? Do they not teach history? Oh, yeah, they teach politically correct history. Okay. I thought they taught history in high school. I thought. And usually on December 7th, every year of your life, it's on TV. Whether it's on the news or it's on the radio. Okay, I got 5 minutes left. See? 5 minutes? Y'all okay? Don't start spontaneously combusting, because that's rude. All right. Next. Math. There's quantitative versus qualitative. Math. Which branch of military service did Hubert serve? I will fail you if you put Army. Okay? What tells you which one it is? Because only a Marine would say United States Marine Corps. Okay? All right. Next. Here's the one that's most missed. This is the most missed bonus question in all of my classes. What is homework, quizzes, test, and exam weight? It used to say 20, 20, 60. But I changed it this semester. Which one is it? It's the only one that equals what? 100. Math. What is Hubert's email address and cell number? The only one. I should put farmer.com. What is that? Match and farmer. Somebody should take those commercials off TV. I turn them whenever it comes on. I turn it. Those are the stupidest commercials. If you have incomplete assignments and Hubert puts a 0 in for the grade, what will that 0 do to your grade? Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam? And that's the bonus questions. How many questions were on the test? 30. There's 15 math questions and 15. Everybody in here should have a 50 average. Do I have 50 averages? Nope. I have 27s. I have 36 averages. These people procreate and have driver's licenses. Okay. Now that's pretty much that. I'm going to show you one more thing right quick. I don't know what time. It says I have 2.5 minutes left, and that's just enough time to go over this. Over here, if you want to do extra problems, and write this down in your notebook, extra problems, no grade, study plan. Study plan and, chapter contents. Chapter contents, go to the chapter and section and hit study plan. And that'll give you plenty of problems to work on, see? And you can do them over and over and over, and you got a bunch of problems. Just remember, there's content on there that I don't cover. So if you see one that you don't have any freaking idea and it's not on the homework, don't do it. Okay? The other thing, how do you print out the book? Chapter contents. And right here. No. Where is it? Oh, you got to choose a section. Multimedia e-text. When it pulls it up, you'll have a print button somewhere and you can print it out up to 10 pages. So you can print out each section, put holes in them, put them in your notebook instead of buying a book. Okay? So you can buy a book, borrow a book, steal a book, share a book, usually an old book in class, I don't care. But everybody's got the book when you go on Mylabsplus. So you can print it out and not have to buy a book. Okay? So who has a question on Mylabsplus? I haven't covered everything, but I'm run out of time and I got to turn the recorder off and then I can answer your questions.